about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you're listening to the Talkbox for some. You're listening to the Talkbox. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Guys. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, you guys. It's your girl Sonia G here on the Talk Box. I'm live from Mexico. And we have a special guest on with us on today. Miss Miller is in the house. She is the founder and CEO of Partners. Uh, give it to me, Miss Miller.
In child safety of Lake Charles.
I,
Partners in
I
child
always want
safety
to
of
say,
Lake Charles
I don't
Incorporated.
know why. But we welcome you here on the Talk Box. This is our episode of Cry for Help. But before we get started, you know what we say here on the Talk Box, every day above ground is a good day. We got another day,
Yes.
another opportunity, another chance, and another choice to get some things right that we didn't have quite right on yesterday. So you already know the story. Make sure that you're putting your comments down into the comment section so we can get these algorithms going, please. And y'all already know that I'm a Baptist preacher, so I need you to talk back to me and make us get in this morning. So good morning, Miss Miller. How are you
Good morning.
today?
Doing well. Doing well. How are you doing? Thanks
Oh,
for
I'm
having
blessed
me.
by the best, honey. Blessed by
Amen.
the best. Look
Amen.
at my surroundings, baby. We
Yes. Yes.
So I'm doing well. I'm doing well. My son
Amen.
brought me over to Mexico for an early
Oh,
birthday
that's a
trip, so
blessing.
I'm thankful for that. So Miss Miller, we're gonna dive right in, and today's episode is a cry for help. So in knowing that and knowing what you and I have already been doing for years now, a lot of people don't know that the trafficking of children is actually has moved up the ladder a little bit. It's the number two illegal uh entrepreneurship that they got going on right now,
Operation.
and everybody is in it.
Yes.
You would be surprised. Judges, police officers, doctors, preachers, all kinds of people. But I do believe, and that's one thing here on the Talk Box, we have the right and permission to live an abundant life. An abundant life does not entail being trafficked, whether you're young or old, right? So I just want to bring you on in
Amen.
this morning, and I thank you for being
Amen.
here and being able to share a little bit and educate us about the trafficking and the abuse. Go ahead, Miss Miller.
Absolutely. So since
Okay.
pandemic, we so since pandemic, we have a big increase on child sex trafficking and child sexual abuse. And so what we try to do is get the message through education and prevention. So we're champion mandate reporting because unfortunately, we have so many unreported cases of
Mhm.
child sex trafficking, witnessing of any type of abuse, sexual abuse, and we have a problem that people in our local officials, first responders, even school officials, educators, we're not practicing the mandate reporting, and so that is a big component of what we do is encourage the mandate report. Hey, if you see something, say something, call it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I tell you what. So the mandate is basically in place so that we will speak up when we see something happening. Like,
Yes,
for
ma'am.
instance, I travel all the time, and one thing that I look for is things out of place. You see this big old white guy and these little bitty black children, and you don't see no black mama nowhere. But what I want to let everybody know, that they're getting smarter. even with the trafficking, and we gotta not say sex too much on here, just
Right.
trafficking. With the
Trafficking.
trafficking, they're getting a little smarter. They're starting to travel as a family, so it looks more like a family. And so we have to start paying attention to the children, looking at their faces, looking at their demeanor, how they're acting and reacting, if they're trying to get away from their parents. But nowadays, I know kids is bad and they always trying to get away, but there's something about the kids that I've rescued, the look on their faces.
Yeah.
So, but what that means is we have to stop being so selfish and worry about others, because we are our brother and our sister's keepers. And so, yeah, I'm nosy because I'm trying to notice everything around me, because we never know when God is giving us an opportunity to step in and to be a blessing.
Absolutely. And we have signs that we just need to pay attention to, and how to react, how to react when and if we do see something, with mandate reporting, I want to get out is that you don't have to have proof of evidence of anything. It just have to be a suspicion, a
Mm.
suspicious about some type of interaction with an adult and a minor.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes people, like what you said, they're very clever. So now we have traffickers that are interested in working with children in
Yes.
local agencies that are in group homes for teens, in detention
Hmm.
centers for youth and teens, in organizations that cater to children and teenagers. So they're very smart. They go and apply for these jobs, especially if they've never been held accountable. They're not on
Yeah.
any background check. So we
Hmm.
have to be very careful. And what we have lately since pandemic is that we have a trafficking through agencies.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, we're thinking that there's an auntie that women are trafficking more now.
Yes.
Women at a
Yes.
high number. Women
Hmm.
are the downplay or the camouflage of what's really going on. And so that
Hmm.
has to be identified. And if we don't know how to identify it, we definitely won't be mandate reporting anything. And follow
Right.
up with the email. Always have a second follow up if you have to mandate report.
Mm. Well, I want to push back on that for just a second. Although I am a trafficking rescue person myself, but sometimes you get the people who say, "Well, you don't have to have any suspicion at all," and you get people in trouble. Sometimes we're infringing. They say we're infringing upon their privacy, infringing upon their rights. But me personally, I would rather infringe on your rights and be wrong than not infringe on your rights and be right.
Yes.
And not save someone. And so when people don't understand that, if you've seen some of the things that I've seen in my rescuing, if you've seen some of the things, even some of the traffickers that I've spoken with, and these traffickers are married, they have daughters themselves. Some of them are not pedophiles. They consider it a business because it's very lucrative. Because when you think about it, when you selling drugs, because that's the number one illegal
Right.
uh
Right.
uh business going on. But when you're selling drugs, once you sell that specific drug, and they intake that drug is gone. But a child or a female or male can be trafficked over and over and over again, and that's what's making the business so lucrative, because it's a high demand. Because as we go through this life, and the Bible speaks about it, in the final days, we're just going to be more and more evil, more and more sadistic. And so, with that being said, and things going on in the world, um, then they done up the game. They've upped the game. Yeah.
Yeah, mandate reporting put a policy and procedure in place. Without policy and procedure, think about it. We have policy and procedures on your jobs, in restaurants. You have a capacity that if it's an overflow, we have policy. We live in a world of policy and procedure, and
Mm-hmm.
so to not have that accountability in place in school systems, after school programs where children are, it's a concern. It's a concern
Yeah.
because you should ask when you're sending your child to summer camps. You should ask when you're sending your child and registering. Everybody is getting ready for back to school. In the
Mm-hmm.
next couple of weeks, it'll be back to school shopping. So when
Right.
you're going to register your kid, even your high school or your college, what is the policy and procedure? And so we encourage
Right.
buddy systems with children. We encourage them to have a buddy system to never go or be alone in public places, and even how to identify safe people and safe spaces, in a worst case
Mm-hmm.
scenario, even at home, in a community, at your school. We even have traffickers in our school system now. they're
Right.
they're very
Right.
smart. They're trafficking
Mm-hmm.
in high school. They're
Mm-hmm.
bringing them across other state lines to work.
Right.
They're very
Yeah.
smart. They're very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just have to educate and make sure that we remind one another that you don't have to go through a particular class to get a certification to be mandate reporter, but you definitely can be a mandate reporter, just by, if you see something, say something, call and report it in.
Yeah. Well, I want to reiterate a little bit about when you see something, or here's the deal. Everybody don't look like a criminal. I remember when I was a criminal, until I was far off into the game, I didn't look like a criminal. So it's not how they look. You know what I mean? Like, they can be in a suit with $500 gaiters on their feet.
Yes. Yeah.
They can be wearing Chanel and Louis Vuitton. And so it's not a look. Some people, well, he didn't look like. A lot of
Hmm.
times when people get caught, and the news reporters go to their next door neighbor, they were like, well, we didn't know, because he's a family man. She's a good wife, a good mother, this, that, and the other. So we have to keep our eyes open for even deeper things than that. That's why come I think, in my little sanctified imagination, that we need to take a good long look and conversations with the children, because kids, they say the darndest things, and they don't know how to keep stuff, even after extensive grooming. And I want you to go a little bit in about grooming as well. But even with grooming, the child still will have some telltale signs. I remember when I was being molested, I got very quiet, and I'm a very talkative person.
Hmm.
And a couple of adults asked me, "What's wrong with you? Why you so quiet?" And nothing. So they didn't go that extra mile. They didn't say anything else.
Yeah.
After I said nothing, they were like, "Okay." Well, when you see a child's behavior drastically change, there is a reason for it. Children do
Yes.
not drastically change their character, their attitude, and how they act for nothing. So we need to pay attention to the children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about
Teaching.
grooming.
Grooming is most definitely a part of it. So here's an adult that is very skillful in manipulation, and especially talking to the younger children, with candy. Hey, I'll get you a gift. You don't tell anyone. The grooming, even to the parents. Sometimes we have after school programs, or we call mentors, that are interested in
Hmm.
mentoring children or tutoring, and they groom
Hmm.
them. They groom them with the kindness, with gifts, with promises,
Hmm.
and get the parent to trust. I've seen a video on TikTok the other day. The kid was in the neighborhood. He didn't have any friends, and he went to the neighbor door and wanted to be the friend of the neighbor. And this neighbor is a grown man, and he wasn't home. But the grooming, if that person was pedophile, pedophilia, a trafficker, they could have easily groomed that kid. Hey, come back
Right.
when I get back
Right.
home, you know.
Right. Right.
We have to teach our children even safe words.
Mhm.
What's a
Mhm.
safe word? Let's start talking to our kids, our nieces, our
Mhm.
nephews, our grandchildren, and start teaching safe words. You know, what is the
Yeah.
word that only you and I can know? And if you feel unsafe, you can tell it to me, and I know, you know, that you feel unsafe. You
You
know,
want
it's
to
those
say?
type of things that we need to go back to. But the grooming is definitely there, especially around the
Mhm.
holidays. When we have the
Mhm.
Christmas holidays come up, when
Right.
we have birthdays, the child birthdays come up, we need to pay attention to that. You know, and we think it's a kind gesture. Don't get me wrong, it's not healthy to assume everybody is the worst person ever, but we definitely need to pay attention, especially single
And
moms.
keep
They
your
target,
eyes open.
yeah, they target single moms struggling.
Mhm.
And since pandemics, everybody is still struggling. Everybody is still misplaced. Here in the
Mhm.
South, in Louisiana,
Mhm.
we're still have blue tops on the houses. So, you know, they still struggling with economics. You
Right.
know, the economy
Right.
isn't there. So how else are you um making up that money? If you have a child
Right.
in a home, that's a lot of money in a home that you can
Yes.
substitute than go and work. So you have a
Right.
non-working society, you have access to children, and we don't see them. We don't see. Here's the
Right.
summertime. I haven't seen any child play outside this summer. Where are
I
they?
know,
You
right?
know,
Where are the kids? Where are
where
the
are the
kids?
kids? Who are they left with? And here it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna come into school. You know, if they come to church, we'll see it in the churches where you're describing a shutdown behavior, isolation, the
Mhm.
decreasing of grades. We won't know that until school starts. But even
Mhm.
the overwearing of clothes, it's a hot summer day, 80, 90-degree weather. You have a jacket on. You know, pay attention to
Yeah.
some of the signs, you
Pay
know.
attention.
Pay
Yeah.
attention. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tell you something else as well. When we're dealing with this issue, it starts at home too.
It does.
If we can get our home, see, one thing that I'm thankful for is seeing fathers. I clap my hands and tip my hat all the time to my son. He's an excellent father. Um, and his wife is an excellent mother. But when we start being healthy in the home, then it's not so easy for someone to groom your child. Because if you're getting the love that you need at home, then you tend not to reach out for that love somewhere else. And when we have healthy relationships with our children, then our kids will let us know when somebody is trying to approach them or anything like that. My grandson tell me all the time, Nana, you my best friend, and he tell me things that he don't tell anybody else. But that comes with communicating with our kids. We have to stop being so busy that when a child is trying to speak to us, well, get on in there and watch TV. Go get that phone. Go do this. Go do that. That actually breeds a space, and an emptiness for others to come in and groom your children, others to come in and take your kids and traffic your children. And let me say this, a lot of times when I look at it, the whole analogy is this. As I said earlier in the show, uh the world is getting more and more evil. And so it used to be a whole bunch of hoish men and or women, um
Hmm.
and then that wasn't good enough, so the men started wanting girls, and then they didn't get satisfied with that. So then they transferred over and started being in the closet. And then when that wasn't good enough, now they've gone to little boys. People don't even understand. They think just because I have sons, I don't have to worry. Well, the world is getting so
They're not safe.
perverted that the little
Yes.
boys are in a higher demand at times than the girls are,
Yes.
because the world has gotten so
Yes,
perverted
they are.
that the girls and the women is not doing the trick. And that's why it's so important for us to watch out for also pornography and that sort of thing, things that open up the doors
Yes.
for perversion. So go ahead.
Definitely, definitely. And you're hitting it dead on the nail, like perfectly, because
Yeah.
it's cousins. Pornography, the sex stores, the strip clubs, this whole
Right. Right.
entertainment world is a cousin
Hmm.
to another deviancy that may open up the Pandora's box that we don't even need to be open,
Right.
and the perversion
Right.
of it, the
Yeah.
the boys, the boys are at a
Yeah. 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 Miss
dangerous
Miller,
rate
Miss
of
Miller,
being
you're
trafficked now, and
they're in
violated
a very
easily.
dangerous way.
Think about it,
Yeah.
brown and minority boys to go, and women will shun them for saying that they ran away from sex,
Yeah.
and provide safe spaces even for the boys, because they're going
Hmm.
through it at a higher rate, a very
Yeah.
high rate,
Yes,
and
they
they don't
are.
have anyone to talk to. They don't have a safe
Right.
person. Yeah.
Right. Right. So we have to be very careful, you guys. I need for you guys to comment down in the section. I want to make sure that you can hear. Again, for those who don't know, I'm live on set here in Mexico. So I want to make sure that everybody is getting the message. This is very, very important. A cry for help. In order for us to live an abundant life, we have to have a balance with this thing. We have to get out of our own way. Stop being so selfish and thinking about me and mine, and stop being so unrealistic. We walk around thinking that everything is good. We walk around thinking that nothing is going to happen to our children. But the truth of the matter is, you could be next. Your family can be next. Your child can be next. So we want to make sure that we are aware of our surroundings. We want to make sure that we are paying attention to our children. I'm
And
here
like you said, it starts
in
in the home. It
Mexico.
starts in the
It
home. And
does. It starts in the home. And I'm here in Mexico with my two granddaughters, or age 2 and 6. So I'm paying attention, because they're really cute. Our kids, they're so pretty. And they're so cute and adorable. But a perverted person will take that cuteness and pervert that thing, and start looking at them different. I don't know if you guys saw that there is a senator, and I'm gonna look up his name because I'm gonna start buzzing his name. He was on the Senate
yeah.
floor, trying to vote so that men could marry children as young as 12 years old. And if that's not a red flag, that how his mentality works. I don't care what the background is. I don't care what his reasoning is behind it. That is a slippery slope. We have to protect our children. You guys, I need you guys to make sure that you are sharing the live. Somebody else may need this information. You may not be a parent, but I'm sure you are auntie or uncle, a grandparent. Somebody need to know that our kids are at risk. And it's sad because they're at risk in so many different areas. They're at risk at school. The school's getting shot up and everything. And then you got to worry about the teachers grooming them. On top of that, the coaches, the everything has been coming out on different people. And don't let appearances fool you. Somebody could look good, look like they're wholesome. They can be a preacher, a pastor, a coach, a teacher, a judge, uh, um, a police officer, whoever the
Yes.
case is, and they can still be after your children. So we want to make sure that we're staying aware of all of those things. I do like this, Miss Miller, the buddy system for our kids. It's something I had my grandsons a couple of weeks ago, and they asked me could they go outside. And I told them, you go out together, you come in together. wherever you go. The buddy system will help thwart off some of those some of those things. Okay, I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Let's see. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty from Miss Miller. Um, so if we can get her back on, we will, you guys. But I just want to remind you that that there's a cry for help going out, and we have to learn and know to protect our babies. A cry for help. If you were molested or had an early experience, then you already know for your own self how that can affect you for the rest of your life. So let's not put a blind eye. Let's not get so into ourselves that we don't see what's going on. Even when you're traveling, even when you go to the school to pick up your child or grandchild, just make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. I want to thank Miss Jeanette Miller for coming on. She is the CEO and founder of Partners of Child Safety there in Louisiana. And I hate that we missed her. The internet connection, it may not be hers, it may be mine. So you guys, I'm going to be reporting from Mexico all this week. And so I am looking forward to talking to you guys. But I just want to remind you that God is still in control. But we are our brother and sister's keeper. So you guys, make sure that you are being the man and the woman of God that God have already called and ordained you to be. And I'm so thankful that today we have another opportunity to get some things right that we didn't get right on yesterday. So, yes, Anissa, thank you so very much. Anissa said God is good all the time. Well, I just want to tell you how good God is for a moment. I just want to tell you that God is so good that He can turn a crooked path straight. He can make sure that world that has you bogged down, He'll put you on top of the world. He will be Jehovah Rapha. He's able to heal you wherever you hurt. He says that He comes for the brokenhearted. If there's any brokenhearted, if you have went through a traumatic experience as a child, we want to make sure that your broken child is healed. Because when we don't heal our broken inner child, then we become broken adults. So if you're old or young and you're crying out for help, I want you to know that God got it for you. God has it. Whatever you need, God has it. So, you guys, I know this was a little different today, but I wanted to get Miss Miller on because of the mandatory report mandate. So, if you see something, say something. This has been your girl here on the Talk Box. I'm Sonia G, and we'll see you tomorrow for a word of inspiration. Have a blessed and wonderful, wonderful, marvelous day. Y'all know it is Marvelous Monday. So I hope that you know that you had a good weekend. And I'm going to go get in the pool. But if you need to get some Talkbox merchandise, make sure you go to SoniaTalkbox.com. That's Sonia, SONJA, Talkbox.com. We have mugs, we have coffee mugs, we have water bottles. We have the nice gear, the clothes, the shoes, anything that you need so that we can represent Talkbox. And I need and you to make sure that you subscribe to the Talkbox channel. Just to let you know also, the Why Men Cheat episode is going to be dropped on today. Make sure you see it. It's my son, Devon Crutchfield, is leading the charge on that. And so I look forward to seeing you guys in the morning. Bye-bye.
You're listening to the Talkbox sign. You're listening to the Talkbox. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you're listening to the Talkbox sign.